In this video, we'll go from this beloved but well-worn and maybe fragile Evolve Hadean Bamboo e-skateboard to this beautiful, golden, Diablo Bamboo Limited Gold Edition. Sort of. Well, it's minus just a few unimportant drivetrain parts like motors, controller, and battery. So basically what I'm doing is the e-skate version of a Ferrari conversion. Yes, I'm not proud of it, but in my defense, I wasn't looking to buy a new skateboard when the Gold Edition Diablo went on sale. Plus, it's $3,000. This is much cheaper. But briefly, before you hit unsubscribe, I can hear what many of you are thinking. Isn't this supposed to be a battery test, DIY battery building, fast e-moto, fast e-bike channel? Why, yes it is, even though the last few videos were cameras and e-skate related. I'll get back to the battery stuff very soon, but as I'm recording this, all my distributors do not have the cool new 6,000 milliamp tablet cells in stock. And e-skate, besides being a super fun hobby, is actually very related to the DIY battery community. There's a very active group of DIY e-skate and e-skate battery builders, and I myself even built a DIY 18650 pack back in 2019 for my Evolve Carbon GTR. You can see here on the screen. It was not a fun build. The DIY bug hit me at a very early age. I skateboarded my entire childhood, and back when I was 12, I even built a custom board for myself with this super cool Tony Alva deck and UFO wheels. Now just really briefly about the Evolve brand. It really is considered to be the Porsche of e-skate brands, with really beautiful design, generally high build quality and the best components, and a premium buyer experience and great after-sales service as I've seen, but they have a high price to match. There are, however, strongly split opinions in the DIY e-skate community about Evolve. Some people love them, some people hate them. The hate usually stems from two different reasons. Some people feel that the boards are way overpriced for their performance, and some people are still upset at Evolve over previous generation board problems with remote disconnection or sudden braking without rider input. I myself had that disconnection experience back in 2016 one time with my Carbon GT when the board stopped responding to my input commands and I rolled through a stop sign at about 20 miles an hour at a busy intersection. That was a very memorable experience. But in general, I've absolutely loved my Evolve boards. That's why I've bought 10 of them now over the past decade. Okay, now let's get to the build. So just a really quick video. This is the before, my usual Hadean ABEC 110s. Board has been great. I've had it for a couple years now, but I am worried that it may break at any time. So because of my weight, I've seen a couple that have cracked. I'm a solid 200 pounds, so I worry that this is not strong enough. So I've been looking for a Diablo deck. I'm totally happy with the performance of this board, the electronics, the range, the power. I don't use the full speed anyway or the full range, so totally happy with the performance. I just wanted to swap out the deck. Been looking for a Diablo deck on the various Evolve sites since the Diablo was released, and finally Evolve Europe had one for sale, so I got that, and I figured while I'm doing it, might as well do a whole upgrade except for the motors and electronics. So going to put on the new Super Carve 2 trucks in gold, going to do the tan wall AT wheels, basically making a Diablo Bamboo Gold Edition from my Hadean. So that's the idea. And again, here's my old girl after stripping her for parts. This board has served me really well for many thousands of kilometers. I don't know exactly how many kilometers I had on it before doing the upgrade. I'll check it on the remote when I do the battery test and see where my cells are at. But yeah, it's been a great board. Absolutely loved it. Just if you have a Hadean or you're thinking about buying one, I recommend maximum weight, not what they say of 100. I think it should be about 75 kilograms maximum. So maybe like 165 pounds is the heaviest rider weight to be safe that I would go with on a Hadean. This will substitute my unboxing for a new Diablo. There she is, the deck. Looks like I made it in one piece. Very excited. I'm going to swap out This center clear grip tape, I don't really like the look of that. I want a black stripe down the middle. I think that'll look nicer. So there's the deck. I'm very lucky to have found one. They're kind of hard to get. And there she is. Diablo bamboo deck. Definitely thicker than the Hadean. A little less flex, but much stronger, and I'll put some photos on screen. It happened more than once. I always thought that the Hadean design, this spot right here on the Hadean, was a weak spot, and indeed I saw at least 3 cases where the board broke. So every time I ride my Hadean, I'm always like super cautious, trying not to hit any bumps, trying not to go too fast, because I worry it's going to break, which is no way to enjoy a board. So definitely, like I said, finally found this deck and was going to just upgrade the deck, but actually it's going to be a full board upgrade. The only thing left from the Hadean is going to be, well, the motors and the electronics. So the first step in the surgery, the transplant, is going to be removing the battery from this baby. And it's got a few scratches on her. Removing the battery, and then motors. That's the only thing that's going to be coming from the back end there, and popping it onto there. Hopefully it fits. Okay, so battery is unscrewed. Now hopefully it fits on my shiny new Diablo deck. Okay, so that's it. Step 1 is done. This was, to be honest, my biggest worry. Is the battery going to be identical? There's a whole pattern match. I gotta do a nice cleaning on my battery there, but I didn't think Evolve was going to make an entirely new battery case with new mounting points, since these are also, they're 2170s in both battery packs, so the battery pack size is the same for the Diablo and the Hadean. So that's the good news. It fits okay. Fits the existing holes, didn't have to get a new battery enclosure and switch everything over. So the Hadean battery just fit into those holes perfectly, and it's all set. That was the hard part. Now we're just going to take the motors off, but just waiting for parts, waiting for my trucks and wheels and tires and all that to come. So for now, going to pause it, and we'll continue when all the parts come in. Okay, and after quite a while of stripping my old Hadean bamboo, taking the motors off, taking the lights off, basically everything off, I put on my old Kelly rides, and I'm actually going to sell this in Ukraine for zapchasty. Maybe somebody's a DIYer, makes their own battery, makes their own e-skate, and wants a nice platform for building an e-skate. So that's it. Thank you, Hadean. We've had over 2,000 kilometers together, lots of great riding times, great board. I just worry that it's not suitable for a 200-pound rider, that it might break. Okay, so here's the parts takeoff from the old board, my existing Hadean. These wheels I had, basically they're unused surge wheels, so going to use those, just change the tires. The old drive gear can't be used because we got to use a new drive gear for the new trucks. Motors are going to be reused. These gears on these are pretty much okay. I checked them. The teeth are not like, didn't become sharpened or anything like that. Too sharp at the ends. Anyway, motors are okay, just a little bit of wear cosmetically on them. Got the clamps there for the cable, got the belt covers, shred lights. Those are probably I'm going to put on bottom. Anyway, so this is the parts takeoff that I'm going to be using, besides the battery, on the new build. Okay, so here are all the new parts that I got from Evolve, both Europe and US. I think this is everything. Let's start, and I'll put the prices up on the screen, kind of a total price list. Keep in mind the total cost of the upgrade, I'm subtracting $200 because I sold the old Hadean deck and trucks and some wheels I had for $200. So here we go, starting with the beautiful gold anodized Super Carb 2 trucks. Those are just gorgeous. Really like them. These, the only place that had them in stock was Evolve, California. I think Australia has them too, but notably Evolve Europe did not have them in stock. So we've got the front here. Notice these are wider than the previous Evolve trucks. Still dual kingpin, still super carby. So those are the front. comes with the axles installed. And then on the rear, the axles are not installed in advance because I think you got to do the motor plates on them first. So there's the really, really pretty Supercarve 2 in gold anodized finished, gold member. So yeah, and then there's the axles come with it, and the Evolve inserts that go there on the top of the trucks. Next, I got a new set of LED prism strips, EFOC connection, because the ones were kind of destroyed on my Hadean deck and you can't unattach them anyway, so there's that. Let's go next to the drive gears. I got both the all-terrain and the street drive gears because I'm going to switch both wheels on this board. So yeah, the new new trucks, the new Supercarve 2 trucks require new drive gears. So keep that in mind. If you do this upgrade, you will need to add that cost of new drive gears. So those are nice and new. Then we've got the new motor mounting plates. Again, a necessity. These on the new rear trucks, you've got to use the new style motor mounting plates. So we got those. Really nice CNC piece. Beautiful black anodized finish. So that's super cool. And this is like my best economical purchase for this build. Like I said, I really wanted to get the gold Evolve ceramic bearings. They're beautiful. I'm sure you know they're the best ones that are available on the market, but it was going to cost me like 80 euros plus from Evolve EU plus shipping to Ukraine. So let me see if I can focus on these. I got these from a place in France called Freedom Skate Shop. I'll put a link to all these, obviously all the parts, in the description. So yeah, these are Smoking the Bandit 78 Trans Am color scheme, black and gold. Really nice looking bearings. They spin, I can't really do it here with one hand. They spin super smoothly. Obviously they're not going to be like super ceramic. They are ABEC 9 rated. So good quality steel bearings. And again, Evolve ceramics golds were like 80 euros, 90 bucks basically, shipped to Ukraine. These were 20 euros, so we're looking at like 23 bucks. So much cheaper, and I think they're going to match the build really cool, and we'll see how they work. And last but not least, of course, we've got the tan wall kind of retro vintage style tires, which along with the gold, obviously that is a super nice looking combination there. Kind of goes together really well. No, you'll see when the build is done, but anyway, yeah, Evolve, obviously I'm just copying Evolve style on their gold builds. They did a great job in developing these tires, getting them made with the tan wall because it goes with the gold really well. So yeah, the 7-inch all-terrain, and like I said, I'm using the wheels. I already have basically new Surge wheels, so I'm not adding that to the price list for this build because I did already have the AT wheels. So that's it. Besides the deck, these are all the components that I got to do the upgrade from my old and well-worn Hadean bamboo to a pseudo Diablo bamboo gold series. And one more view of the deck. So, almost forgot, on the same day, this is like total holiday for me. This is a Sunday, by the way, in June. This is like Praznik, as they say in Russian language. Anyway, this is holiday because on the same day that I got all the parts together for this guy, there, also I just received a special delivery from LA all the way to California. Yes, it is the my long-awaited Fusion. Yeah, except I was just lifting the inner box out and sliced the fuck out of my finger. So be careful if you're reaching underneath where you can't see with your eyes. There's like some sharp, some sharp edges. So yeah, be careful. Oh, first time that's ever happened in many Evolve unboxing, but yeah. Okay, so here we go. Here it is. The board worth shedding your blood for, as I have done. Whew, the new Fusion all-terrain. Oh, that is pretty. I'm wondering how my piece of wood looks on the bottom, how the grain pattern is on it, because these are all obviously different individual pieces of wood, so you have a different grain pattern on each one. So we'll see the bottom. There she is with the same gold supercar 2. I'm gonna have two kind of twin boards with these same tires and these same trucks, but probably eventually I'm gonna put the street wheels on the Diablo deck board. Really pretty board. I love the laser etching on there. I love, as you'll see with my build that I'm doing now, I love having kind of more black on the top, more of the grip tape showing, and the wood is kind of an accent. So like I said, I was curious to see how the green looks on the bottom of this one. There she is. Not pretty light green. I've seen some that had some more darker streaks on them. No problem though. Still a beautiful board. Okay, starting the upgrade process. Gonna start with the trucks, mounting the motor mounts, everything on the rear truck, motors, all that stuff, and front trucks, get everything together, mounting the trucks on the board. That is gonna be the first step. Okay, step one is done. Got the motor mounting, new style motor mounting brackets on there. Oh, that got heavy. These motors are massive, even though on the Diablo they're bigger even. Wow, that's really heavy. My old motor's mounted to the new motor mounting plates. Everything went together perfectly, and we'll keep going. Quick tip, axle goes in first, then motor bracket, which holds it in place. And I just want to say, everything is machined really nicely. Super high quality, very tight tolerances. Everything goes together with fraction of a millimeter clearances, just perfect fit of all components together. So yeah, Evolve is expensive, but no other e-skate company gives you this level of quality, this level of manufacturing. Okay, motor plates, axles, and motors on the rear truck. Like I said, just make sure do the axles before the motor plates. The motor plates kind of hold them in place. So yeah, other than that, one little mess up, going good. Like I said, the machining is just amazing. All right, got the new drive gears mounted on here. No problem. Put new bearings. Note that the bearing for the drive gear is larger than the normal skateboard wheel bearings. So there. Oh, this assembly is heavy. This whole thing really weighs a ton. Yeah, Gates belts that I bought a couple years ago. Anyway, everything went together pretty straightforward. Rear truck and front truck now ready to get mounted on the board. Then the job I've been putting off for 2 weeks doing, what I haven't been looking forward to, changing the tires. I got to do a total tire change, putting the new ones on, the old wheels. If you haven't done it before, changing a tire or tube on these Surge wheels is a real pain in the butt. It takes a long time. So probably I'll see you tomorrow with the tires done. So ran into first and only problem so far, installing the rear trucks on the board. I had just installed them without the clips. These are the clips that hold the connectors here in place. Done them without them. There, if you can see, everything fit perfectly. Screw length was fine and all that. Then realized I need to put my mounting clips are held by here. The problem is that the screws are not long enough. If you can see there, the screws don't even reach through the nut. Doesn't go into the plastic part that holds it in place. They need to be like 5 millimeters longer. So to use these mounting clips for the cables, which really sucks. I checked the screws on the front trucks. Those are the same length. So it's not like there's a longer and a shorter. So I guess for now I'm gonna not use the clips, because until I get longer screws, these are not safely long enough to go through the nut. Okay, so that's rear truck assembly mounted on the board. Okay, after some struggling and shoving, got the new prism, LED prism lights installed. I know with the Diablo, they integrated lights, kind of more elegant solution, integrated them in the front and the back of the battery pack, but if you're using a Hadean deck, or Hadean battery, I really highly recommend getting the prism lights. Super helpful. No, looks nice and kind of practical for safety to light up the bottom underneath the board. So, yep, they work. Good. Okay, so got both trucks on. Beautiful gold. No hiccups except for the too short bolt on the back. There we go. Anyway, let's see how it looks from the top. So, next step is wheels and tires, I think. So that's how she's looking from the top. Yep, starting to look like a gold edition Diablo. Getting there. Okay, so the last couple of little pieces of the puzzle just came in today. Let's first talk about bearings. I got a second set of gold bearings. These are from Amazon. These guys. I love how it's got the face on it. The not happy / not unhappy face on it. Can we focus on it? Wee! They're there. So, another set of gold bearings. Those might actually match better. Which are better? The Trans Am black and gold, those guys, or the orange and gold? Which you think are going to go better? Anyway, can try both of them, I guess. Those, and then, like I said, the grip tape, the closest that I could find to what I was looking for is from the Renegade. Unfortunately, this says Renegade on it. It's not a Renegade. Let's see how it looks on the deck. Okay, so the thought was like something kind of like that, to have a wider strip in the middle. This already has the circle, the radius cut to go around Evolve. The only problem, besides saying Renegade Diablo, is this width, and I actually measured and knew this was going to be the case. It partially blocks my Diablo laser etching, which obviously I don't want to have happen. But the only way to fix that is, what I plan to do is cut like 1 centimeter off each side, but that's going to cut off part where it says Renegade Diablo, and I would actually have to buy another one of these to get 2 of these pieces to use on the front and on the back. Actually, I need 2 of these pieces like that. Okay, my e-skate Sheena montage work is halfway done in process here. Took the old rims out apart, took the tires off the old rims, transferred the tubes into the new Tanwell tires. Gonna put them back together. Got to do it carefully, put in a little bit of air, and then do the 2 halves of the hub together there, and without pinching the tube so you don't get it flat. Alright, after a couple of hours of tire changing, got all 4 wheels done, tires mounted, inflated, no tube pinches, thank goodness. Yeah, I think it looks really good. Whoa, lost the light there. So this could be done at this point, but it's not yet. I still have to do the emblems there on top, Evolve emblems. Black grip tape centerpiece. But in doing this, oh, by the way, let's see. What do you think about those bearings? I think they look awesome. The black and gold Smoking the Bandit colors. I think it looks really good there. Let's try, see if we can see over here good. I think those bearings look awesome. So with the gold trucks, yeah, I think in general looks super cool. So no, it could be done at this point, but not quite yet. You do the emblems, black grip tape. Yes, I think the black and gold bearings look awesome with that, with the gold trim. Like I said, it could be done at this point, but I decided, like every build I do, keep adding to it during the process of the build. It looks really cool now, but I think even a little more bling will be helpful, a little more specialness. So I wasn't going to go with the CNC gear, drive gear, because it's only available in silver, but I decided I'm going to get the CNC drive gear and anodize it myself. I work with an anodizing shop here that's done work for me before with Saran stuff here in Ukraine, and then also the Force Bash Guard, do that in gold. I'll put a picture on the screen. They did a gold edition Diablo Carbon with the gold CNC, and the gold Force Bash Guard looks really cool. So I think that's going to add just a little more bling, which this board it's not gonna hurt. It'll be nice. By the way, you may be asking, does it work? Well, powered on. There's my trusty old phase remote. Let's see how we do. Yeah, works. Awesome. Good news. Okay, there she is, next to the Fusion. So we got kind of twins here with the gold hardware, tan roll tires. I think it looks really good. Basically, all the surfaces you see on the Diablo, the new Diablo Gold, all the surfaces that are visible, except for the motors here, everything else is brand new. So really, it looks like, and essentially is, except for drivetrain, looks like a brand new board. You know, everything that you see is new. But we're not quite done yet. Like I said, need to do the black grip tape center. So we're gonna work on that, and then gonna get some more gold bling to add to the rear end. Okay, so here we are halfway through the black regrip process. I know some people are gonna strongly disagree with doing this. I wanted more black on the deck, so I bought the Renegade grip tape. I went ahead and cut it so it matches the width of the clear, you know, the original Diablo, and got it on there so it's pretty much in the same spot. Doesn't quite reach the trucks though. But anyway, yeah, I know some people, you know, you can give your opinion in the comments. What's better, the clear or the black? So that is it. What do you think? I know there's going to be strongly mixed opinions on this. Some people are definitely going to prefer the clear. Some are going to prefer the black. Took the clear off. Unfortunately, it's not reusable. If I want to put it back on, I'll have to get new. You know, I'm not sure which way I like better myself yet. In general, like I said, I like more black on the top and to have the would-be a trim. Unfortunately, the Renegade grip tape was a little short. It didn't quite reach, you know, the trucks there, and where I had to cut it off. Now instead of Renegade Diablo, I have half of an E, and have to be careful very how I pronounce this, Nija, and half of a D, Diab. So I have E Nija D Diab instead of Renegade Diablo. But hey, the board is 101, you know? It's the 101 DIY Hadean / Diablo Gold Series. Still not done yet. Gonna add some bling to the back. For now, we gotta pause, waiting for more parts. And anyway, that's it for now. No, so far, I'm super happy with how it looks, and can't wait to try it out. So, got one part back for the Diablo Hadean build. Not perfect cold match, but pretty darn close. So, got them anodized here locally in Ukraine. Okay, here we are, many days later. I love this board. I haven't written it yet, but I know I'm gonna love it. But this is the project that is never ending. So it's been a while, mainly delays for anodizing and for getting parts in. So as far as the anodizing is concerned, I consider it 33% success. Here are the gears. You know, the aluminum gears in general came out quite good, pretty close to the gold that I was going for, which is the Evolve Gold. However, the bash guard, as you can see, not quite the same gold. It's sort of a brownish brownish matte dull gold, and I got some spray paint that would match the Evolve color okay, but I know how these bash cards are used. I've used one on my Assault, and I know that spray paint is going to be gone very soon. So anyway, but right now, what oh, and the other thing about gold is the remotes. Okay, so the remote, here is my bezel. Do you notice anything missing? Maybe like the whole front part of it, and that these holes are much bigger than they were. I had my doubts about this bezel being CNC aluminum anyway. Well, first of all, it doesn't look like CNC because there's no CNC marks. But the other couple reasons I had doubts about it, and I should have just followed my instinct, was because first of all, when I took it off, this original one, it was clear that it was painted, not anodized. The other reason also is on all the, Evolve offers a gold phase remote with this already painted, but on the phase remotes, on the gold edition boards, this is a very different gold color. It's obvious it's painted. So anyway, but I thought I would take my chances that this was aluminum because they advertised the remote as CNC aluminum, and got it anodized. Well, I tried to, but as soon as they dipped it in the acid bath, it started to dissolve. I'm sure it made a nice sulfuric cloud as well. So yeah, this got destroyed, and new one coming, and gonna paint it. So out of 3 parts that I custom anodized here, the gears, the bezel for the remote, and the bash guard, only one really came out good the way that I was hoping. So yeah, 33% success. Just keep in mind, anodizing is really an art as much as it is a science. You can't guarantee if you go to your local anodizing shop and request a gold or a blue that it's going to come out the same as what you were hoping for. So keep in mind, anodizing is as much an art form as it is a science, and there's no guarantee if you take some parts to your local anodizing shop that they're going to come out exactly the tone of red or gold or blue that you were hoping for. So the gears really don't look bad. They're pretty close. I mean, those look good, but the bash guard is really more brown than gold. I'm sure in the sun it'll look okay, but like I said, not going to paint it. The paint will come off. This, waiting for the new piece to come from Evolve Europe. Thank God they sell it separately. Going to paint that. But anyway, today the main thing that I'm thinking about is the grip tape. Okay, so talking about the grip tape, I discussed it a lot in the previous parts of the video. Main thing is, I didn't love it with the clear in the middle. I wasn't a huge fan of that with the clear stripe, so I wanted to do black in the middle. I think this looks okay, not bad, but I'm not 100% loving it as much as I thought I would. The 3, the triple lines. So I've always really liked the look with the hexagons, like the original kind of classic GTX board grip tape with the hexagonal pattern, and that they have on the Carbon. And I did see, I'll put on the screen here, I did see a bamboo, I think it was a Hadean, where they did the Carbon grip tape on there. So I found, I got the Carbon grip tape with the hexagon pattern. I also found a third-party company that sells, makes grip tape for Evolve boards. I think it's called YOC. I'll put on the screen here. They also have a hexagonal pattern. So I have 2 different hexagonal pattern grip tapes, and the problem is to take one off, like when I take this off, it's going to be destroyed. If I put the one hexagon on, don't like it, it's going to be destroyed. So I have to decide which one to try first. I think it's going to be the Evolve. Here, I'll show you what it looks like. So this is the Diablo Carbon grip tape. You really can't see anything there, but let me show you with some light behind it. You can see the laser cut pattern. There we go. There you can see the whole pattern and the cutouts. Pretty cool. So I think I may try this first. Hopefully it comes out good. And the other hexagonal pattern grip tape I got can just be saved for future, when this needs to be replaced in a couple years. But yeah, so I think I'm going to try this grip tape. Unfortunately, I have to destroy the one that I just put on my design. That's got to go. So here it is with some of the outside trim removed. Didn't remove all the negative space yet. How does it fit? Pretty good. It's quite a bit lower there. Here it comes pretty close to that inside edge of the concave here. Quite a bit lower. In general, looks like it'll fit. I mean, what's worse that could happen other than I completely ruin the looks of my board? Okay, in process. There she is, back to the original naked in the middle look. Maybe just keep it like that. I may wish I had done that in about an hour from now, but we'll see. Anyway, yeah, I mean, no, it's a good looking board with the wood showing in the center. I just really like the hexagon. So there we go. With the help of a hairdryer, we have a completely bare Diablo bamboo, or what I like to call the Brazilian style Evolve. So what do you think? Maybe just ride it like this. No grip tape at all. I think it's a great idea. Live dangerously. I already do. I'm under missile and drone attack from Russia living in Ukraine. I think I'm going to take it out in a rainstorm like this with no grip tape and see how it goes. So that's it. Glue residue removal done with sticker remover. Sides where the factory grip tape was, almost nothing. Came off super clean by using the hairdryer. Center where the clear was, and then I used it aftermarket, had a ton of residue. So anyway, got it nice and bare, Brazilian and clean. One thing to remember to do if you do this crazy idea, make sure your battery screws now are tightened down really good because they're going to be covered. Okay, so what's the plan on how to lay this stuff down? Well, I don't know how Evolve recommends to do it, but my plan is obviously the center circle is the reference, get that centered. What I'm going to do is peel off the backing paper on everything that needs to stay, and all the thin lines that are just the holders in the middle, I'm going to leave the backing paper on those. So hopefully everything that needs to stay then will be stuck down, and I can just pull up the lines in the center. That way everything stays in the same place. I think that's better than just taking it apart and sticking it on piece by piece. Okay, this is how it's coming. I think it looks okay, but this takes forever. I'm already like an hour into this. I'm wondering how they do this for mass production. Is there some poor little old lady on the factory floor in China that all day and night she just does grip tape for our Evolve boards? But anyway, no, I think it's gonna look good, hopefully. Okay, so that's how it's coming. I think so far so good. I really like how it's coming out. Just very, very time consuming, very intricate, trying to make everything line up perfectly symmetrical with the same gaps. It is a lot of time. Front, coming along. By the way, these little tiny pieces there, those are of course the first ones to come off every time, but anyway, I like it. I think it looks really cool. You can leave your opinion in the comments. Okay, so that is pretty much it. Unless I want to put more pieces in the middle, which I don't think I do. Not really easy, kind of took a while. Yeah, I see kind of too much of a gap there by those top pieces. Anyway, yeah, kind of difficult to get everything perfect. I worry a lot about these pieces right there where your foot goes. These small ones, I know from experience, those come off easily, so that probably needs to get glued a bit. In general, I really like how it looks. I gotta do a little more finessing, try and get things a little bit closer. But in general, yeah, it looks very similar to what I saw in the that Evolve photo where they did it on the Hadean. I really like it. There's the ring and the black ring and the black on the E's. I'm thinking no. I think I like it better just leaving it with the wood in the middle. No extra grip tape. Yeah, I think that's looking really nice. I think that's looking really good. I really like how it looks here. So, but now I have a dilemma. I am tonight going to Odessa for 10 days to go riding and enjoy the seaside because it's summer. I have been working on this board for, what, 6 weeks now, so I've been dying to ride it. I was planning on and have actually packed up my Fusion to take there, but I would love to bring this guy to ride too, but I need to obviously shoot it while it's new and do some beauty shots of it before it gets sturdy. So now I have a dilemma. Bring this new, which is untested and unproven, and I need to work the kinks out, or bring my Fusion. But it's gonna kill me to leave this guy at home for 10 days when I just finish it and she's looking so pretty. like it. Wider, flatter than the Fusion, and I can tell I'm going to be much more comfortable long term on this deck over the Fusion. Much more flat, wide, and comfortable than the Fusion deck. Short version is board ride is fucking awesome. No, I really love it. And I dare to say it's better than the Fusion. Even though the Fusion has newer controller and a new battery, the chassis, the deck, I like much better. So, after a short drive, you see the trick there? After 50 kilometers, absolutely love the board. Ride's awesome. I love how this board rides great. Deck is obviously wider and flatter than the Fusion. Riding long term. So, you say after a few kilometers, absolutely love the board. The ride's awesome. The deck is more comfortable than the Fusion. Obviously, it doesn't have the new cells like the Fusion has, but in general, the ride. the distance here. So one more point, I gotta talk loud. One more point I wanted to make before I forget while I'm riding. If you own a Diablo bamboo, you already know this, but this deck is new to me. It is so comfortable. I have zero fatigue. My feet are not aching, calves are not aching. So I wanted to say, after riding all morning, zero fatigue in my feet and my calves. Deck is super comfortable for my size 11 feet. Whereas with the Fusion, after a little while, because it's narrower and because it's got like a really sharp concave, the Fusion, I get foot and calf fatigue like crazy, absolutely crazy. This board, this deck, much more comfortable for long-term riding. Okay, so what's my conclusion after all this? Well, first, before I talk about the board, I want to just make a few recommendations to Evolve as a company. I've been a client of Evolve for now over a decade, and my Stoke, which I just got, marks my 10th Evolve e-skateboard that I've gotten. So you could say I'm a long-term super fan of the company. However, that doesn't mean that I've never been critical of Evolve when I've thought that they've done something wrong or should do something in a different way. So here are my general recommendations first to Evolve for all their boards. First of all, I think Evolve should add a small DC-DC converter inside the battery compartment. It can be compact, doesn't have to be very big, maybe 500 milliamps maximum. Add this DC-DC and that'll provide power for the headlights and taillights like the shred lights, only now you won't have to have batteries like you need now in the shred lights. They're not going to have to be charged separately. Now when I go for a ride on my Hadean Assault, I need to charge 6 things, which is ridiculous. Just install a DC-DC that can power low profile lights. You can work together with the manufacturer and make some lights that are, narrower, not narrower, but shorter than the shred lights, and have them powered right off the board with a DC-DC. No point in having lights with separate batteries that need to be charged separately. It's stupid and needs to be updated. Second thing, very needed for Evolve to do, and that is to develop an AT run flat type of tires. So I'm talking about the same size and the same design as the current AT tires. So 175 millimeters, same style and design and proportions as the current, black wall and tan wall tires. But inside you're going to have some type of either honeycomb or some design inside that requires it not to be inflated. No air, no tube is needed, and make it so it has the same durometer, the same hardness as the current AT tires have with 45 psi. I'm sure Evolve as a company, they've gotten quite big now, they have the resources to work with a tire manufacturer to develop a tire that's like a run flat AT tire, as well as developing those lights that I talked about before. The main issue is if you haven't owned an Evolve board before with AT tires, you don't know, but if you own AT tire board, you know what I'm going to say. Getting a flat on an AT tire, it's the bane of my existence. When I'm riding all-terrain, it happens pretty regularly, and to change flats, change tires on the surge hubs, it's a huge pain in the ass because it's a 2-part hub. You got to take them apart. It's like an hour project, so and it happens pretty regularly. So please, Evolve, develop an AT 175 millimeter run flat tire that doesn't require air, doesn't require tubes. I know there's wheels kind of like this now, cloud wheels and those kind of things. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about an AT run flat that will never get flats. Okay, so that's the next thing. Next main thing is Evolve needs to offer a premium battery option. I talked about this in the Fusion review. Offer as an upcharge premium battery pack, premium cells, either like the Molicel P50B, for example, or the Reliance RS50 if you want something with more power, and offer that as an upcharge for somebody who wants to get better cells than the Samsung 50S. And also related to that, in your 3P boards like the Fusion and the Stoke, the ones that don't have enough parallel groups, definitely you should use tablet cells in those, like the RS50, so they have more power. Finally, the most important thing for me personally, for a lot of people, Evolve. Jeff Anning, please do the morally right thing and leave the Russian market. I wrote you guys back in April of 2022 telling you how terrible it was in Ukraine, how terrible it was that what they're doing, and that you guys need to leave the Russian market. I wrote you several times, wrote Evolve, never got a reply about this, obviously, and obviously Evolve still to this day, and we're talking summer 26, still operates in the Russian market. And by operating in the Russian market and still selling in Russia, Evolve is paying taxes. Evolve Corporation, they're paying taxes and money to the Russian government, which in turn the Russian government uses to buy weapons and support their military and pays for their genocide on Ukraine. So please, Jeff, Evolve, do the right thing. Many reputable big companies, big brands have chosen to do what's morally right over profits, like McDonald's, like Coca-Cola. A lot of companies have left Russia to do the morally right thing and not support their genocide on Ukraine. So that's my recommendations in general for Evolve. Okay, and finally, what about this particular board, what I'm calling my Hadiablo Frankenstein, this board that you've just seen here? What about it? Well, as you heard me say already 100 times while riding, it rides amazing. You heard that. Can't add anything further. I already talked about it while riding. Very importantly, the Diablo bamboo deck, it's much stronger, it's thicker, it's heavier, it's much stronger, and most importantly, it's much safer than the Hadean bamboo deck. You know, I've shown you photos here where they've broken. I've always ridden, you know, very overly cautiously, worried that it might break. So it's a much better deck, and honestly, it's what the Hadean should have been, you know, in its design. Plus, the great thing about this deck, as I already said, riding it, it's super comfortable. For long-term riding, I don't get foot and calf fatigue like I do with the Fusion, with it, you know, being narrower and kind of sharper concave. This is a super comfortable, you know, super solid deck. Yes, it's less flexible than the Hadean, but I actually like that. It feels, you know, very confidence-inspiring deck. Number 4, you know, I highly recommend any Hadean owner, if you own a Hadean bamboo and you're over like 150 pounds, absolutely you should do this upgrade. It's going to give you peace of mind and it's going to be safer. You know, at a minimum, you can just change the deck like I did, you know, plan to do originally. All these other add-ons that I've done are optional, you know, and it's only going to cost you a few $100, so I would do that as a minimum. But you know, the thing is, I absolutely trust my 2 old Hadean EFOC 1s, the 2 Hadeans I've had now for over 3 years, and their EFOC 1 controller. I trust those with my life. They've been rock solid. I've never had any glitches or any cutouts with both of my EFOC 1 boards. But the EFOC 2 on the Fusion, like I said in the review there, it feels really great, very smooth, about the same as EFOC 1. But I did have a couple glitches with that board, a couple partial disconnects, which, you know, cuts my confidence down, not at 100% on that board. But on the Hadeans, you know, both Hadeans that I have, 100% confidence. They've been great. Now, ideally, it would be great, you know, to have upgraded the battery at the same time here to better cells, like put in P50Bs or something like that. It would have been great, but as I mentioned, it's super difficult to do with these PCB mounted battery packs. Very, very hard to upgrade the cells, so didn't bother doing that. But both of my 3-year-old LISHEN packs are still going strong in these boards, and I'm going to show here at the very end what is the state of health of both of these batteries and how many kilometers they have, as I promised to do. Anyway, in conclusion, it's a great upgrade. As you can see, I think the board looks freaking awesome. It just looks amazingly beautiful in my opinion, and it rides fantastic. So highly recommend you do this upgrade. Okay, so postscript. Let's check battery health on my 2 3-year-old Hadean packs with the LISHEN LR2170 LAs. Here, I'm charging up this new beast. Almost full. Look at that. I was going to let it balance out, but check that out. 418, 419, everything within 1/100th. And let's look and see how many kilometers. I have no idea. I haven't checked either of these boards. I haven't checked battery health in over 1.5 years. Okay, ready? I haven't checked this honestly in 1.5 years. This is going to be, oops, it's going to be, so now I know that the Carbon Hadean Assault has much more kilometers than this guy, but so this one 1623 kilometers. And again, this board is 3 years old. No, the powertrain obviously 3 years old. So yeah, LR 2170 LA's over 1600 kilometers. Everything perfect, still within 1/100th of a volt. So on this board, pack is doing amazing. Okay, now the moment of the truth for my very, very well used Hadean Assault. I have not, honestly, I have not checked this in over a year and a half. Battery health, mileage, my lanyard cable came off. I didn't charge it up to full to let them balance or anything like that, which obviously would help this reading. So let's check here, my board, and we're gonna go into battery data, and then we'll check miles. So here we go. Where we at? Look at that. You can see. Awesome. Like I said, I haven't done a full charge to balance or anything like that. Look at that, within 1/100th. It's a little above 50%, 359, 358. So amazing. 3 years, over 3 years riding this. We've been everywhere in Ukraine, tons of riding. You'll see how many kilometers, it's a lot. And all within 1/100th of a volt. So I'm gonna check all time. There you go. I thought it was over 3,000. It would be 3242. So 3242 kilometers. LISHEN battery pack still within 1/100th of a volt. And I would say on average I've done a recharge about every 25 kilometers. So how many charge cycles is that? 3242 divided by 25, what, like 150, 140 charge cycles at least. So yeah, battery pack, LISHEN battery pack in both of these Hadeans doing surprisingly phenomenal. Sovietska Street, MYKOLAIV, Ukraine, or as I've always called it, Mykolaiv, Ukraine. Summer 2023. Me and the Hadean Assault. I first came here, sorry if not steady, this is just my phone. I first came here in 2003, 23 years ago. When I first came to Ukraine, I was here on this street. McDonald's was here already. No, then as a young man, I could have never imagined, me, Patrick, in 2003, could have never imagined that I'd be here 23 years later riding my high-tech electric skateboard on the same Sovietska Street with the 23-year older version of me. But I'm here, I'm alive, me and the skateboard both survived Russian occupation. We're here, we're free. I hope there's not wind buffeting. And most importantly, alive. So, screw you, Russia. You didn't win. We're here, we're free, we're alive, and still enjoying e-biking and e-skating. This is the city administration building. This fountain wasn't here before. These fountains, I should say. So this square, no, it's remodeled. The square was here, but they did a nice remodel. Hadean Assault is a great way to get around. Well, probably it's going to be wind buffeting, so I apologize if that's the case. So yeah, this is where I used to hang out a lot. (2003) through 2008. Do another quick shot here in Mykolaiv. We don't have this in Lviv. The burned out taxis, the burned out orc taxis. But yeah, there's some burnt terrorist Technica. Slava ZSU, Slava Ukraine.